there's lots of good videos.
Free Palestine! Free Palestine!
Free Palestine! Free Palestine!
Free Palestine!
Okay, Bianca, just can you tell us a little bit about your ordeal and when you were incarcerated by the Israelis?
So we were intercepted and taken to Ashdod port, and from there we were sort of manhandled off the boat and put into a yard where we were forced to sit down on the ground for several hours, and we weren't really allowed to. They told us not to look up, they told us not to talk to each other, and we were there for hours. We witnessed Greta Thunberg being dragged in front of us, being forced to hold a big Israeli flag.
Was she assaulted?
She was dragged by multiple police officers while they were making her hold on to this flag, and then sat her down on the ground, threw a frog hat on the ground, and and then just made a spectacle of her to sit there by herself looking at a flag.
Were you there when that Israeli minister came in and harassed all the people?
He came in and he called us all terrorists, and he said we were going to a terrorist prison, and we did yell back again. So we all, people were yelling, "You're the terrorist, but stop killing babies, end the genocide." And at that stage, after that, several people were dragged away for saying that, and then we were all cable tied with our hands behind our backs. And then we were left cable tied for longer. I don't know how many hours this whole thing went on for, but after that we went through a kind of a processing where they went in, confiscated our belongings, and took us, fingerprinted and all of that kind of stuff. And they were really, each one of us had this little escort, some sort of police officer who was really, mine was a very young woman who was just very abrupt, just saying boy, which is come, or whatever in Hebrew, I don't know, I don't speak Hebrew, but just, ordering us around like children, just humiliating, being made to feel like we're criminals. We'd taken humanitarian aid to feed starving people, and so that was the whole processing part. At the end of this, we're all blindfolded, cable tied, and put in a bus, one of those ones you can't really see out of properly, and sat in there for hours again before we finally went to the prison. And we took our little blindfolds off, and I was able to peek out through and see some writing on the prison as we entered, and it had this enormous little Israeli flag, and then it had this big statement that said something like, "The eternal state does not forget and pursues its enemies to the end," or something like this, which I just thought, well, this looks like something Mussolini would write on one of his buildings. The building itself, the prison itself, nothing particularly special about it. I wouldn't say, the conditions of the building were particularly poor. We did have some poor treatment. We were denied access to lawyer. We weren't able to call our lawyer. We weren't able to call get medical help. We had all the medications taken off us.
Are you happy with the Australian consular support? Did you have much of it or any of it?
They did come and see us twice, yes, so they were able to come and see us. But, they were forced to wait a really long period of time as well. They didn't get to see us until the late afternoon, and they'd actually been waiting since 7:30 or 8 o'clock in the morning. So it's not like it's only us that were, given the runaround. It's also the embassy staff were also given a hard time.
Okay. Thanks very much, Bianca. Thank you.
You guys sit in the back. We'll cook that one. See you later.
Oh, yes,
No worries. It's one of the friends big. I couldn't put in the book. Thank you.
Steve.